don't care whether you like it or not.
You know what's actually crazy? This whole thing started because of a dress. Seriously, not a church scandal, not money, not cheating, not politics, a dress. But within a few days, that dress somehow turned into people questioning a pastor's marriage, his finances, his past affairs, his church, and even his character. That's how fast the internet works. And honestly, 50 Cent knew exactly what he was doing. See, this wasn't just another celebrity trolling somebody online. The second 50 made that Instagram post, he knew people weren't going to stop at the dress. He knew the internet was going to start digging, and that's exactly what happened. In this video, we're going to break down why 50 Cent decided to jump into this situation, why people immediately started bringing up Jamal Bryant's past, and why one simple fashion controversy somehow turned into one of the biggest conversations church social media has seen this year. But here's the thing, who's actually wrong here?
People have said, oh, she knew it would get this reaction. My ego is not that big. I don't dress for people. I dress for myself and for my husband.
Was Dr. Carrie Turner unfairly judged over an outfit? Is 50 Cent exposing hypocrisy? Or are people simply using one viral moment as an excuse to attack a pastor they already didn't like? Stick around, because once you see how all these stories connect together, you'll understand why this stopped being about a dress almost immediately. Now let's go back to where all this started. It was supposed to be a celebration, New Year's service, church packed, music playing, people dressed up. Just another big church event. Then photos from the night started hitting Instagram. At first, nobody really paid much attention. But after a few hours, one picture started getting shared over and over again. It was Dr. Carrie Turner. She was wearing a strapless dress with a nude illusion design that gave the impression of showing much more skin than it actually did. Some people thought she looked amazing. Others immediately started saying, "Hold on, isn't she the first lady of a church?" That's when the internet did what it always does. Everybody suddenly became a fashion expert. One side argued there was absolutely nothing wrong with the dress. They said she was a grown woman, she looked elegant, and people were only criticizing her because she's married to a pastor. The other side wasn't buying it. Their argument wasn't really about fashion, it was about position. They believed that when you stand beside one of the biggest pastors in America, people naturally expect a different standard. Whether that's fair or not, that's how a lot of people see it.
A preacher presented his wife the other day and looking like a $2.
The conversation kept getting bigger. Then Pastor Jamal Bryant decided to respond.
Need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it.
Now here's where things got interesting. Instead of apologizing, instead of saying the outfit might have distracted people, he doubled down. From the pulpit, he proudly told his congregation that he bought the dress himself. Not only that, he basically let everybody know he liked it. To him, that should have ended the conversation. Instead, it poured gasoline on the fire. Because now people weren't just talking about the dress anymore. They started talking about appearances. Old pictures started getting reposted. Comparison photos started showing up all over Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. Then came the BBL rumors. To be clear, there is no verified evidence that Dr. Carrie Turner has had cosmetic surgery. Those claims came entirely from people online comparing old and new photos. But once that conversation started, there was no stopping it. Every new picture became proof. Every different camera angle became another debate. Every comment section turned into an argument. And that's exactly when 50 Cent showed up. If you know anything about 50, you already know he loves chaos. He doesn't wait for drama to cool down. He waits until everybody is talking. Then he throws one more match into the fire. He started clowning Jamal Bryant online. He questioned the lifestyle. He questioned the image. He joked about church money. He even joked that the whole thing deserved its own documentary. Now the story wasn't living inside church circles anymore. It had crossed over into hip-hop. Celebrity blogs picked it up. Instagram pages picked it up. Reddit picked it up. YouTube picked it up. And millions of people who had never heard one of Jamal Bryant's sermons suddenly had an opinion about his church. But here's what most people missed. 50 wasn't really talking about the dress. The dress was just the excuse. The real story was everything that came after it. Here's the funny thing about the internet, it never forgets. By the time this controversy had been going for a few days, people weren't even asking whether Dr. Carrie Turner's dress was appropriate anymore. That conversation was over. Now everybody was asking a completely different question. Can you really separate the pastor from his past? And honestly, that's the question Jamal Bryant has been dealing with for years. Because every time his name starts trending, people don't just look at what's happening today. They rewind the tape. They bring up the cheating.
I stepped rolling outside of my marriage and had a extramarital affair that ultimately ended in a divorce to an incredibly wonderful woman.
They bring up Giselle. They bring up old interviews. Now they're bringing up 50 Cent. And before you know it, one headline turns into 10 different conversations happening at the same time. That's exactly what happened here. Then another story started making the rounds online. An interview involving the mother of one of Bryant's children began getting shared across blogs, YouTube channels, and Reddit. In the interview, she made emotional allegations about Bryant's involvement in their son's life and discussed child support payments. One particular number being repeated online immediately caught everyone's attention, with people claiming the payments were unbelievably low. Now, here's where people have to be careful. Those claims came from one side of a personal dispute. Social media immediately treated them as proven facts. But court-ordered child support is determined through legal proceedings, and without seeing the actual court documents, nobody online has the full picture. That didn't stop the internet. It never does. People started connecting everything together. The dress, the cheating, the podcast, the child support, the Instagram posts. To a lot of people, it looked like one giant pattern instead of separate situations. And once people believe they've found a pattern, it's almost impossible to convince them otherwise. That's exactly why 50 Cent's posts landed the way they did. See, 50 has built an entire career around finding the weakest point in someone's public image. He doesn't usually invent the story. He just finds the part everybody is already whispering about, then says it louder than everyone else. That's what happened here. His followers immediately flooded the comments. Some were laughing. Some were defending Bryant. Others started questioning how megachurches spend money in general. That's another thing this story turned into. It stopped being about one pastor. People started debating churches as a whole. Some commenters questioned whether pastors should live luxurious lifestyles while members of their congregations struggle financially. Others argued that successful pastors have every right to enjoy the rewards of their work and shouldn't be judged simply because they're financially successful. That's a debate that's been happening for decades. This controversy just gave people another reason to have it. Meanwhile, Pastor Bryant didn't spend days going back and forth with 50 online. He stayed focused on his ministry and his public activism. Supporters saw that as maturity. Critics saw it differently. They felt silence wasn't enough because they believed bigger questions still hadn't been answered. And maybe that's why this story refuses to disappear, because depending on who you ask, you'll get two completely different versions. One version says Jamal Bryant is a man who made mistakes, admitted them publicly, worked on himself, remarried, and continues serving his community despite constant criticism. The other version says his past keeps catching up with him because the underlying issues were never fully resolved. Both sides believe they're looking at the same facts. They just reach completely different conclusions. As for 50 Cent, mission accomplished. He got exactly what he wanted. People weren't just talking about his post, they were talking about Jamal Bryant again. Millions of views, thousands of comments, countless reaction videos. Another week where social media couldn't stop arguing. And maybe that's the biggest lesson in all of this. These days, you don't need to create a scandal. Sometimes all you have to do is find one that's already happening and know exactly when to press post. Whether you think 50 was exposing hypocrisy or simply trolling another public figure probably depends on how you already felt about Jamal Bryant before any of this happened. But one thing is impossible to argue with. A single dress turned into a conversation about marriage. Then it turned into a conversation about church leadership. Then it became a debate about money, morality, cosmetic surgery rumors, accountability, and celebrity culture. That's the internet in 2026. Nothing stays about one thing for very long. And once someone like 50 Cent decides to join the conversation, it's almost guaranteed the story is going to become much bigger than where it started.